I love when you guys indirectly tell your coach, relax, we got it. We got it. All right? That's exactly what you guys did out there. You know what good teams do? They don't give a shit who they play. They don't care about the environment, who's playing for them, who's playing for us, what the records are. When you smell competition, you show up. And you guys just proved it again today. You did what you're supposed to do. You did exactly what you're supposed to do. That's what good teams do. Guys, that's 4. You just keep your attitude just like it is right now. And we'll go wherever we want to go, I promise you. I've seen way too much ball as a player and a coach. Trust me, we'll be all right. We'll be just fine. We got the right dudes in this room. We got the right dudes and the right coaches. All right, I got one game ball. Where's my game ball at? We'll get into this in a couple of days, okay? But this guy, Hunter's start, man. He's been here for years.
Hey, this means a lot to me. This organization, when they brought me in, just to be a winner, man. And now we're doing that, and it feels so fucking good. I feel the best I've ever felt in my career, regardless of all the ball I played. Because, man, it just feels so good to be part of something special. So I appreciate all you guys. Lions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. I, of course, am your hostess with the mostest hat and beard, where my pronouns are savage, and I identify as sexy. With me, as always, is my co-host and stiff to the left, B-Rad, Pick'ems extraordinaire, and co-host of the Hat and Beard Show. Give a big round of applause, slap like for B-Rad, ladies and gentlemen. Folks, we've got an exciting episode lined up for you. Go ahead and give a big round of applause for the Detroit Lions, coming out big with some home cooking over a hapless Carolina Panthers team, you guys. Big 42-21 victory over the Panthers. I'm sorry, 42-24. It was a 42-24 score. So I was wrong there. I was wrong about the Panthers scoring more than one touchdown, but the Lions still came out ahead. Lads and lasses, this was an exciting week 5 around the league. Today I've got an epic episode lined up for y'all. We're going to do a real quick lap around the league where we're going to touch on scores from around the league, hopefully keep that under a minute for y'all. Then we're going to dive into the Lions Week 5 matchup where we just took it to the Carolina Panthers. There were some bright spots, some things that need to be cleaned up, and some brightness that comes out of some dark situations, you guys. So we will stick around for that. And finally, we'll be wrapping the episode up with my favorite segment of the week, Hat and Beard Salted Nuts, where I will be changing my tune on a previous week's Salted Nuts segment, so you're definitely going to want to stick around for that. I am not a lad for changing his opinion on things, but we are going to spice it up for you guys. Stick around. You're going to want to hear my take on all of that. But, folks, before we get into it, do me a rock-solid favor. We are well on our way to 500 subscribers, and I cannot thank you all enough. The growth on this channel over the past few months has been epic, and I genuinely appreciate every single one of you cats that turns out and hangs out and just puts up with my nonsense and seems to get something out of it. So that is awesome. You're awesome. What a great week. The Detroit Lions are awesome. Please do me a rock solid favor, though. In order to keep this train moving, I need you to do me a solid. Tell the algorithm how much you appreciate me by liking this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Over 40% of my viewers aren't even subscribed to the channel. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel. And if you really want to be part of the Hat and Beard gang and never miss out on any future content, do me an even the biggest favor you can do. Go ahead and ring that notification bell so that you never miss out on any future content. Folks, I genuinely appreciate all of you turning out and being part of this nonsense that I got going on over here. It's cold in my garage. I had to ditch the flannel for a hoodie because I am a little softy when it comes to the cold. But, guys, now that we've got all of that stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and go around the league with Hat and Beard.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
Thursday night, the Bears, in tribute to Dick Butkus, beat up on the Commies 40-20. Jacksonville in London playing the away game. Going to square off against the Bills, upset the Bills 25-20. Saints going to pulverize the Patriots in their own house 34-0. Tennessee and the Colts. Tennessee loses 23-16 with a AR-15 getting knocked out midway through that game. The Steelers on a last-minute Kenny Pickett touchdown going to beat the Ravens 17-10. Of course, we know the Lions just throttled the Panthers 42-24. The Falcons the Falcons sneaky win over the Houston Texans. I thought the Texans were going to pull that one out at the end of the game. 21-19, Atlanta rolls. Desmond Ridder looked great. The Dolphins bounced back against Big Blue, 31-16. Daniel Jones got knocked out of that game. Cincinnati seemingly being able to find Jamar Chase finally, lighting up the Cardinals 34-20. Philly had their hands full early, but then ran away with it late over the Matt Stafford and his big goofy white teeth led LA Rams. They're going to go ahead and fall to the Eagles 23-14. Jets pounding the Broncos. Nathaniel Hackett getting his revenge arc over the Denver Broncos 31-21. Breece Hall looked unstoppable. The Chiefs going to get bailed out yet again by the Stripes with a bad no call there in the end zone at the end of the game. But hey, what you going to do? The Chiefs got to continue to roll, got to keep that machine running, that money coming in. 27-20 over the Minnesota Vikings. The Cowboys embarrassed themselves on national TV Sunday night, 42-10. That was way worse than I actually thought it was going to be. Apparently that Texas Coast offense, when you go up against the real West Coast king of the offense, the real advent of the West Coast offense, remember you got to beat your man to the punch with the West Coast offense. Yeah, the 49ers roll. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, every aspect of the 49ers team looks absolutely unstoppable. And then finally, the Monday night game, Jordan Love throws 3 interceptions as the Raiders roll 17-13. Guys, what an exciting week 5 we had. Comment down below, what was your surprise of the week? Who did you pick? And just tell me how much you like me. I appreciate it. Folks, if you haven't already, go ahead and slap like on this video. I genuinely appreciate it. Let's talk about the Lions' Week 5 performance against the Carolina Panthers. I know that statistically speaking, the Carolina Panthers are the worst team in the NFL. I have to admit that if the Panthers continue on the trajectory, there was a lot of bright spots out of that team, and they are going to be a formidable team in 3 years if they continue their development. I think they have the right pieces in place. They just need to add a few more weapons for Bryce Young. Maybe you got to up that offensive line performance a little bit. Their defense isn't terrible. They have parts around some star players that need to develop before the Carolina Panthers become a true force in the NFC South. The NFC South might be down for the next 2-3 years. I mean, there's not a lot of talent spread out amongst that conference. And possibly the Panthers could run it for the next 2-3 years in a couple of years. But I gotta tip my hat. Carolina, you played a lot better than I thought you were gonna. You guys gave us a little bit more fight. I know the score doesn't necessarily reflect it. There was some bright spots. Now, on to the Lions. Let's talk about our bright spots. 22 first downs. 22 first downs, 11 through the air and 11 on the ground. That is efficiency, ladies and gentlemen. That is mad, wicked efficiency. That was an incredibly efficient game that we had. Jack Fox was probably got one of the easiest jobs in the NFL right now. The field relocation specialist for the Detroit Lions, Jack Fox, is probably one of the best punters in the game. There was some sad news that came out of this game. Y'all, on his second snap after coming back from a torn ACL, unfortunately, the guy who I've been hyping up all offseason, Emmanuel Mosley, our big free agent acquisition from San Francisco that we brought in on a 1-year prove-it deal. Yeah, unfortunately, those of you guys that watched the game, he went down with a non-contact injury, and he's tore his ACL again. He'll be done for the entire year. Unfortunately, that free agent acquisition, as well as CJ, we're not going to have that production that we were really banking on. So far, Cameron Sutton has been able to maintain a solidly high level of play and been able to maintain his health, whereas Chauncey and Emo both got banged up, and now they're going to miss the whole season. And that is mad, wicked, unfortunate, because As you guys know, I had been kind of projecting our defense to continue its ascension as these guys came back from injury. I was really hanging my hat on Emo's like 81 PPR or 81 QBR rating based on Pro Football Focus last year when thrown at in the NFC West, which is astonishing considering the weapons in the NFC West. And you hate to see a guy end a season on an injury when he was trying to come back from that very same injury. You hate to see it. It's sad. That being said, guys, our team rolled into this game beat up, banged up, and we kept some players out for preventative measures. Jameer probably could have gone. Jahmyr Gibbs probably could have played, and Saint probably could have played if they really wanted to push it. Our training staff decided to let them take the week off because we have two very important, very aggressive road games coming up the next 2 weeks, which will really test our team. With the injuries that we had, Saint being out, Gibbs being out, obviously CJ being gone all season, Emo being gone essentially all season, we were going to try and work him back this year. Brian Branch, the steal of the draft, being out, right? We were looking at some banged-up positions. Halapulu Tavati Vaitai didn't play. Graham Glasgow was going to have to go again. That's not ideal. However, he's been playing great. What I want to talk about right now is the bright spots that have come out of this incredibly dark situation. Folks, if you look at our defense, we have completely turned our defense around. And we've been able to do it with essentially the same personnel that we had last year. Yep. You brought in Jack Campbell. Rock solid first-round pick, Jack Campbell. Ooh, dude's going to be a beast. He is able to read a defense. There were a couple of plays where I was watching down. We had Jack Fox punted, put Carolina right back down by the goal line. And man, oh man, Jack Fox read a couple of nice plays where he was untouched, coming screaming right through the line to plug up the run game and just stop the running back right in his tracks. Jack Campbell is going to be absolutely lights out for a very long, long time. We brought in Brian Branch, the steal of the draft. Obviously put his name out there for Defensive Rookie of the Year when he comes back because he has been an absolute pro from the minute he stepped on the field. Cameron Sutton has been a lockdown corner one all season long. Those are really your big changes. CJ went down. Tracy Walker had to step back up. Kirby Joseph got dinged up for a couple of weeks. Ife Melifonwu has come out of left field to be a pivotal player on our defense. His ascension this year, his turnaround, astronomical. Will Harris came in and played so good in replace of Brian Branch. Y'all know I don't like me some Will Harris. I don't like Will Harris at all. Will Harris played lights out. Will Harris looked like Brian Branch out there playing. What does this mean? What was the big change? Our player personnel is essentially the same. Our players are all in the same spots that they were last year. What changed? Well, last year, if you guys recall, before we turned the ship around, we fired Aubrey Pleasant, our defensive backs coach. And who did we sign this year in replacement? Y'all remember I made a video about it. I was so hype about it, and I still am. One of my all-time favorite Detroit Lions from growing up, cornerback Dre Bly. Guess who our secondary coach is? Dre Bly. There is only one piece. There's only been one piece that we added that changed all of this around. The player groups are all the same. The player personnel are all the same. Not much has changed. Yeah, Aaron Glenn has developed more as a defensive coordinator. Yeah, our players have grown. Look at Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson's making his bid for Defensive Player of the Year. Do you realize that no defensive lineman in NFL history has had 4 interceptions in their first 2 seasons? That's record-breaking. Aiden Hutchinson is Mr. Mayhem. I've been calling him it since his rookie year. Mr. Mayhem disrupts games. Aiden Hutchinson takes over a game just like I said he was going to. This is why you have to have an elite defensive rush edge to be able to put pressure on the quarterback to make up for not necessarily elite defensive back play. All that aside, Dre Bly has come in and retooled our secondary. Whatever he has done has made all of our players better, not just our secondary players, but all of our secondary players so much better. Jerry Jacobs was busted earlier on this season. Jerry Jacobs now has 3 interceptions in the last 2 games. 2 at Lambeau, 1 at home against Carolina. Jerry Jacobs is, dare I say, locking it down? Is he really locking it down? He's been able to bait corners or quarterbacks in. And what does that tell us? What does it tell us about the turnaround of just Jerry Jacobs and Will Harris, Ife Melifanu? What does it tell us? It tells us that Dre Bly has come in and been able to retool our secondary. He has been a huge signing into our coaching staff and just continues to show that Dan Campbell knows how to put a coaching staff together. Our defense looked solid. It looked so good, y'all. I'd like to clean up a little bit of the rush game because we were letting them gash us. They almost went over 100 yards team rushing. Not ideal. However, we were in Bryce Young's face all day long. Hutch was disrupting passes. He had that amazing right-handed interception. Why do I say it's so important that it's right-handed? Aiden Hutchinson is left-handed. And he had enough wherewithal to reach out with his non-dominant hand and catch a pass at the line of scrimmage for an interception. That's astonishing. That's great. Our defense has been so wonderful this year, you guys. I am so happy that we have the staff that we have the players who can take the coaching that we have, that Brad Holmes, Motor City Dan Campbell have been able to find these highly coachable individuals to bring in for our defense and really turn it around. Now, on the flip side of that, our offense again, dinged up, no Saint. J-Mo coming back, he played like 20 snaps. People were a little, I want to talk about J-Mo right quick, okay? Because y'all know I am the most milquetoast vanilla guy on J-Mo. I think he's got the ability to be a Ferrari. We just can't get him out of the garage. Either he's got a flat tire, or his insurance has expired, or he's got a headlight that's out. If, ands, or buts, J-Mo could have been a lot better than where he is now. However, you realize J-Mo's only played like 108 snaps across 2 seasons, right? He came off an injury, then he had to deal with the suspension. J-Mo ran 20 plays. I think he was out 28 snaps this last game. Yeah, we targeted him 3 times. There were 3 plays. 2 of them were deliberately drawn up for him, and he dropped 2 passes. That's acceptable, okay? He dropped 1 of the passes. He had 2 catches for 2 yards, right? We tried to hit him on a screen twice. If J-Mo breaks it, he's gone. But if J-Mo doesn't break it, he's going to get swallowed up. Also, the 1 pass that he missed, look, dude, I'm not going to hold it against him. He's coming across the middle, and that linebacker is about to take his friggin' head off. So I'm not going to hold that drop against him. What I do want to talk about is the respect that the defense gives Jameson Williams, because when he was on the field, corners were sticking to him as tightly as they could. They weren't even attempting to stop the run. They were just focused on that speed that J-Mo has. Also, on Montgomery's touchdown run, dude, J-Mo was blocking downfield like an honorary lineman. My guy. Hats off to you, mi amigo. That was some downfield blocking. I love to see my receivers downfield blocking with their hat on, man. Also, I do want to state that Jared Goff did point out, and we all seen it, J-Mo was open for a touchdown pass, but the protection broke down on the offensive line, something that is very rare, and Goff got swallowed up. So, was J-Mo's performance outstanding? Not on, as far as the highlight reel is concerned. However, J-Mo came in and did exactly what the coaching staff asked of him. You can't ask for much more out of a player who's trying to come back mid-season, develop chemistry with a player who he's been trying to work with for the past season and a half, but barring injuries and suspensions, hasn't been able to get there. J-Mo will be just fine, okay? I expect to see more snap counts as the season progresses. However, even if he doesn't become elite, right now we don't have to worry about it because we have old Mr. Steady Eddie himself, the guy who I said was going to have a big day, Josh Reynolds, my guy. I mean, what more is there to say? Mr. Steady Eddie, 3 catches, 71 yards and a touchdown. He's Mr. 3 catch anywhere from 65 to 80 yards. I mean, the faith, the trust, the chemistry that Goff and Reynolds have, it's undeniable. You gotta love to see it. He's also a little bit bigger of a body than, say, an Amon-Ra. And boy, oh boy, y'all, Sam Laporta has just been elite. Elite. There's no other word for it. Elite. He's arguably the best tight end in the NFL statistically right now. He's smashing tight end rookie records. I love the athleticism. I love the blocking. I love the hands. I love the route running. What do I love most about Sam Laporta? Every single highlight I see of Sam Laporta, doesn't that dude just look like he's having the time of his life out there? Like, he is so happy to be playing football. He is so happy to be out there playing football. I don't care. I feel like that's the type of dude who is like, well, if I don't make it to the NFL, I'll go to the XFL. If I don't make it to the XFL, I'll go to the Arena League. I feel like that dude just loves playing ball, y'all. I think he just loves playing ball. I'd like to see a little bit more go his way. However, David Montgomery and our offensive line were just absolutely dominant. And when you can take our offensive line and move the line of scrimmage 6 yards off the original line of scrimmage, there's no need for Jared Goff to throw the pass 30, 40 times a game. Jared Goff has done everything that Ben Johnson's asked of him. Jared Goff has been playing elite. Jared Goff is far and away the best quarterback in the NFC North. I know that's not saying a whole heck of a lot, but still, best quarterback in the North. And our team wasn't even firing on all cylinders, y'all. There was a couple of hiccups there, a few missed opportunities. Timing was off a little bit. What I need J-Mo and Ja to both do is learn how to be a little bit more patient. J-Mo needs to learn from Saint and Josh Reynolds on how to wait for the play to develop, wait for your blockers to get out ahead of you, because he's a little bit too go fast right out of the gate. Same with Ja. Ja hits that hole at 1,000 miles an hour. If he could learn from like Craig Reynolds, if you watch Craig Reynolds' touchdown run there at the end of the game, he was incredibly patient, waiting for his blockers to develop and utilizing his agility to go over a collapsing lineman. David Montgomery's the same way. They wait for their blocks to develop. Ja just needs to just take a deep breath, calm down a little bit. These Alabama boys just need to slow down a little bit. I know in the SEC in Alabama it was all about go fast, but right now you just gotta take half a second, just half a second to slow down, and you'll be so much better off for it, y'all. I think our offense, if we can clean it up, we can get some players back. Looked like Jonah Jackson got dinged up. That's not necessarily a good sign. Halapalooza Vaitai, if he can come back and be a little bit more healthy than, say, this game. I know he tried to give it a go, but then they shut him down before the game. Our team can be so much better than we were just week 5. And I know we were beating up on a Carolina team that is 0-5 and statistically the worst team in the league. But we got really lucky that we didn't fall into the trap, because that game could have gone a different way with the injuries, with our mildly sloppy play, not necessarily the most elite play. I know what you're saying, but we put up 42 points. What do you mean it was sloppy? I mean it was sloppy. There was a couple of missed tackles here or there on defense, a couple of missed passes, a couple of just missed blocks on the O-line. Taylor Decker, all those is 100th start. Let Brian Burns burn him one time. You don't like to see Jared Goff getting smashed around like that. He didn't get leveled too much, but I've seen Goff getting hit a few more times than I like to see. Clean that up a little bit, get a little bit more depth to our running game. Looked like Bam Knight banged up his shoulder, so I hate to see that guy going down, because I thought he had a lot of potential to excel in our offense as the 3rd and 4th running back, really duking it out between him and Craig Reynolds, because I thought he had a really physical run style and clearly could produce in the special teams game. Next week we got a real big matchup against Tampa Bay. They flex us out to the 4:30 game, probably going to be Fox's game of the week. And if we can get Saint back healthy, Branch come back healthy. If everyone come back healthy after this, essentially the coaching staff, training staff, giving them a week of recovery, knowing that the Panthers weren't going to be as big of a fight as, say, Tampa or week 7 come Baltimore. However, things can be a lot better, and I'm expecting us to just come out next week and punch Tampa in the mouth. We will talk more about that, though, in the Thursday video where we preview Week 6 for the Detroit Lions, where we head down to Tampa to square off against the Tampa Bay Bucks, led by Baker Mayfield, of all people.